Hi, it's Michelle from Bits and Pieces Paper Lab. We're going to make a quick shaker card today, and I'm going to show you kind of my cheater technique for making shaker cards. And that technique is to cut basically a shaker cavity out of about 5 layers of cardstock. Now, when you glue all of these together, it becomes almost like chipboard. So you've created some depth and like a little cavity that you can put your shaker bits in. So you can see we're going to be making a rainbow card, and I have cut 5 layers of my little rainbow cavity. And I'm going to go ahead and just glue these together identical. Now the trick first is to make sure you have all of the pieces going the right way and that they line up perfectly, because that's pretty important. And I'll be able to tell because when I've got them lined up, they are just identically matched. Looks like we're good there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these layers together. That's my first step. When I'm making a shaker card, I need to make sure that I've got adhesive on every square inch of these layers, because essentially I'm going to be creating like a little pocket to put my shaker bits in. So I can't have any gaps, or else my glitter and my sequins and my shaker bits might seep out when I shake it, and that's not good. So you're just gonna go through and do all 5 layers, just lining these up exactly. I like to use liquid glue because then I can just kind of adjust a little bit after I've got things placed down. It gives me a minute to kind of get things perfectly lined up. I'm just gonna keep working to get these all adhered together. All right, I've got my 4 layers layered together, and you can see how it starts to create thickness so that I've got like a little bowl to put my shaker bits in. So the next step is we're going to grab our piece of acetate and we're going to adhere this to the front. Now I know this seems kind of backwards because usually you put the acetate on as the final step, but we are doing it just a little bit backwards, and I'll show you why. I'm making sure I've got glue all the way around there because I don't want anything to leak out. Now, when I place my acetate down, it is going to glop out just a bit. That is to be expected. The acetate is not porous, and so the glue doesn't like seep in like it does on normal cardstock. It just kind of smushes, and eventually it adheres, but it does look a bit messier. But don't worry, we're going to cover that up. Okay. So we've got our 4 layers of rainbow and then our acetate. And now we're going to finish this off with this layer that has the cutout in it, the rainbow cutout. So I'm going to go ahead and place my adhesive along the edge here. Now I'm no longer sealing stuff in, so I don't have to be quite as careful. Everything will be sealed in underneath that acetate. This layer on top is just to kind of cover up the mess and help guide me for the rest. So I'm just going to adhere this so that my acetate rainbow is peeking out. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to flip it over, and you can see when we flip it over, we've got a little cavity for our shaker bits. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and place our shaker bits inside. I am using these new clay shakers from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, and I'm just gonna put, I think I'm gonna use like the little clay circles and probably some stars as well. I don't want to get this too full because I want to be able to shake things around. I do need to make sure that each of my clay pieces is fully in that little cavity and not sticking out. If they're doubled up, it's almost too thick for this little cavity. So you want to use just enough that you can do kind of a single layer. Let's get some stars on this side. All right, just like that. Okay, now to seal this all in, what I'm going to do is we've got our card base, which is the full shape of the rainbow, and I am going to adhere this to this, and it will essentially seal in those shaker bits. Now, because this is another layer where it matters where my glue is, I'm making sure I've got glue all the way around. Okay, so you can see there's glue everywhere. There's no holes. Now I'm gonna line this up with this piece and match up and press down really good. I'm sealing in all those pieces. When I flip it over, I should have a shaker. Perfect, it worked. All right, so now this is the front of our card, and we're gonna go ahead and finish layering up our pieces. So you want to just kind of pre-plan to figure out which order these go in. So there's 2 above the shaker and then 2 below, just like that. And then our sunshine is going to peek out from behind those top 2 layers. So I'm gonna do, the first thing I'm gonna do is adhere my little sunshine here in the corner. And I wanna make sure that it's not overlapping my window for my shakers. So I'm just gonna place it kind of like that. All right, and then my biggest layer is my pink, so I'm gonna start with that. I love making shaker cards. I don't know why, they just make me so happy. So I just keep making them. All right, we've got our pink layer on there, and I'm gonna push down here on the glitter, make sure I'm getting that adhered down. The glitter cardstock has a rougher surface, and so it does take a minute more for it to adhere to the glitter because it kind of has to catch in those crevices. All right, let's get the next layer down. I'm just placing that right up against my pink layer. It will kind of fit in like a puzzle piece, and it doesn't overlap at all. It just kind of fits in there. All right, next is my green piece, and this one's gonna go just inside the shaker. Like that. Then I'm going to use some foam tape to pop my clouds up just a little. I want them to kind of float. And don't worry that this isn't even on the bottom because the clouds just cover it right up. And I'm just going to kind of try to get those clouds even with each other, like that. All right, we are almost done with this. So I'm going to just check my placement of my word sunshine. And then my little "you are my." So the "you are my" gets adhered here on the edge. And then it kind of just floats above into the center of the rainbow. And then the sunshine is adhered here on the bottom. Now, when you're doing this, you're going to want to just like do a trial run here, lay it out just to make sure you know where everything goes. Because if you see, I'm going to put adhesive from like here over and then also on my S. But for right here, it kind of floats, so I don't need any adhesive there. So just lay it down first. Make sure you know where you want to put adhesive before you actually get adhesive on there. And then it will just kind of float between the 2 clouds like that. And that is it. Our little sunshine shaker card is done. And the little pieces move around inside the rainbow. Now, you can grab this file for just $1 in my cut file shop. This is just kind of a fun test card for you to test out this technique of layering to make little shakers. So be sure and grab that in my cut file shop at Bits and Pieces Paper Lab. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day.